Hi everyone, my name is Marissa and welcome to my channel, The Budgeting Wife, if you haven't been here before. And if you have, then welcome back. And today I'm going to be continuing the series that I talked about last week, which is a budgeting series on how to budget certain levels of annual household income. In last week's video, I showed you guys how to budget for an annual income of $35,000. And today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to budget an annual household income of $50,000. Now again, I stated this in the last video, but view this as a guide. So you may make $45,000 or you may make $55,000 or you may have a different lifestyle than I do, which is totally fine. So just take this budget as a guide and use it as a tool to figure out what you should be budgeting for you personally. So as we get into the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more budgeting and personal finance videos. So I'm going to switch over to Excel to show you guys exactly how I would budget for an annual household income of $50,000.
Okay, so here we are in Excel for me to show you guys the budget. So here in the top section for the purple, I have the annual income, which is $50,000, and then the calculated monthly after tax. And so I did that by taking the annual income, dividing it by 12 months and a year, and multiplying by 0.75, assuming that you'll be spending about 25% of your income in taxes. So you'll take home about $3,125. So this budget is a zero-based budget, meaning that the total income here, which is $3,125, equals the total expenses, $3,125. And this is what Dave Ramsey says to use for budgeting purposes, because you assign every dollar and name at the beginning of the month. And it's so important to do so that you have a place for every dollar that you're going to be bringing in, you know where it's going. So I use this type of budget for my own personal budgeting, so this is what I recommend that you use as well. So for the purposes of this budget, these are all estimated percentages of what I would recommend spending for different categories in your budget. Obviously, this may be a little bit different for you if you know that you have to have a longer commute, so you're going to have more gas money, or different things like that. So just again, take this as a guide, and I'm excited to show you guys what I have as a recommended budget amount for different categories. So at the top here, we have our total income, which again is $3,125. And then in this blue section, we have regular costs. So these are things that you're going to incur every month that you expect. So the first item that I have here is giving, which is 10% to be $312.50. Now, I'm a Christian, and I totally believe in giving 10% of your income to the church, to other charitable organizations, things like that. So giving is always going to be at the top of my budget. So I have that here as 10%, which is a non-negotiable for me of it being 10%. Next, I have our rent or mortgage, which should be about 25% of your income, or here $781.25. Now, it's important that you really try and stick to that 25%, and that is because you want to make sure that you still have funds left over to either do fun things with and also accomplish your financial goals. So you definitely don't want to be house poor, so make sure that you are sticking to that 25% of your income, kind of no matter your income range. Sticking to that 25% is very important. Next, we move into utilities, which I estimated to be about 10% of your income, which is $312.50. Now, things that would go into utilities are things like water, garbage, sewer, internet, electricity, all that good stuff, cable, all those things that you expect. Oh, phone bills too. So you can definitely, in your own personal budget, have different line items for each of those different utilities. But for the purposes of this budget, I just wanted to show you that all of those together should be about 10% of your monthly income. Next, we have car insurance, which I budgeted at 5%, being $156.25, which is totally doable. Jacob and I, we each have a car, and our monthly car insurance is about $115 a month. And next we have groceries, and I budgeted 10% for groceries, and that is $312.50. And this is definitely doable for a family income, I believe. Jacob and I, we spend about $200 a month on groceries for the two of us. So I think that's definitely doable for you to spend $312. And next we have gas, which I budgeted at 5% to be $156.25. And again, if there are two of you, you have 2 cars, 2 separate commutes, this should be pretty close to what you should need for gas for the month. And lastly, the last regular cost I have is miscellaneous at $156.25 or 5% of your income. Now it's super important that you have a miscellaneous category because random things always come up during the month. When Jacob and I were getting out of debt, we put about $80 a month toward miscellaneous, and we always seemed to go over because there are just so many random things that come up. Even doing household shopping, I put things like that here. If someone has a birthday and I get them a gift, I'll put it in miscellaneous as well. So you can just lump all those things together that don't really fit into these other categories here. You just put into miscellaneous, and so you should definitely try and stick around that 156 mark or 5% of your income. Now, as a total, you can see that the total for regular costs I have budgeted at about 70%, and I would recommend sticking to that 70% for all of those regular costs combined so that you are still able to do fun things and you're able to accomplish your financial goals. So now we'll move into the fun section, and that is the purple section here. And as a total, I budgeted for fun to be 10% of your income, which I would recommend sticking to that 10%, especially if you are working on accomplishing other financial goals like saving for an emergency fund or paying off debt. So here I just gave a couple examples of things that would fall into this fun category, things like clothing, eating out, entertainment. And I gave them percentages just as an example, but as a total you want to spend no more than 10% of your income on fun things. Now we'll move into the orange section, which are the financial goals. And things that are financial goals are going to be things like saving for that emergency fund, which I mentioned, and paying off debt. Now, if you follow Dave Ramsey, then you know that you don't do both of these at the same time, but you rather focus intensely on one and then the other. So I just gave both of these to show you guys what financial goals would be, but you can definitely alter this to fit which baby step you're on or what financial goal you're trying to accomplish. So if you're trying to pay off debt, you would obviously make this 0% and then make this 20%. So here would be $625 that you would be putting towards debt if you're working on paying off that credit card, student loan, car loan, all that good stuff. And you can also work this budget to put more towards your financial goals. So you may decide to limit eating out to just 2%, which then would allow you to put 23% here towards your debt. Or you could even take groceries. You could say that you could cut down your grocery bill to be 8%, which then would allow you to put 25% of your income to debt. So this is definitely something to play around with, and I have the formulas in Excel set up so that I can calculate to 100% and be able to play around with that really easily. But definitely use this as a guide and play around to see what things you can cut, what things you know might be more for you based on maybe where you live or what your commute looks like or your lifestyle. And from there you are able to figure out how you're able to accomplish your financial goals and just work your budget so that you can use your money to work for you. It's so awesome. So with that, I think that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more budgeting and personal finance videos. Also, if you are interested in me showing you a budget that is closer to your specific income, go ahead and leave me a comment down below and just let me know different income levels that you are wanting to see budgeted for. I have a few more coming in the weeks ahead, but I would love to get your guys' input as to what you may be looking for so that I can create a video around that as well. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.